The dev server is open and I've been looking forward to the Eurofighter in particular, so I figured I may as well make a video on it. Obviously everything is work in progress and I have absolutely no idea how the flight model, radar, etc. should be performing, so I'll be refraining from speculation on what might change. I'll just give you a look on what it's like when I was playing it and hopefully with a few fun clips. As for how it is right now, it does pretty much everything. It's stupidly fast, it pulls a ridiculous amount of Gs, it kind of does whatever you want it to. And this guy below me has managed to multipath my AMRAM. You see the radar gets a bit confused there. I have had some issues with the radar, like locks falling off and like my TWS just snapping about. Anyway, I'm going to give him a 9M top down, see if he's paying attention, because that is going to be a very hard one to flare even if he sees it. I get some launchers on my left. I'm going to switch to HMD quickly just to fire back on one of them. AMRAMs aren't great off bore sight, but when you've got enough separation like that, they will pull in quite comfortably. As soon as it gets below 5 kilometers, that's when I think they start to struggle. That might be one perceived disadvantage I'd see for this plane in ARB is obviously, you know, my opinions on AMRAMs. I don't like how they perform when you get like really close range, but you know, with the strength of this thing, the speed, the sort of amount it can bully people, you hopefully won't get in many of those scenarios. Gonna fire off at those two and I see another Eurofighters come in and he's caught me out, so I'm gonna try and get into the merge here. Now we're gonna merge. I'm at pretty much the ideal rate speed for the Eurofighter right now. Don't quote me on that though. 1v1's far from my area of expertise. Something I'm actually working on to get better at the moment. But anyway, it looks like I'm coming around the circle a lot more handily than him, so I'm gonna commit now and pull him for the shot. I missed the first shot. He realizes I'm catching his tail, so he's going to try and reverse his turn, and he's just going to flop straight in front of my guns. Sadly, however, I have no airspeed now, and I'm trying to get around into the notch, dumping as much chaff, but realistically there's no chance of me getting around to that one in time. Next game now, I've climbed up high. It really makes sense to follow a similar strategy that you would in an F-15, flying up quite high, because you've got so much power, you've got so much range with the AMRAMs with how fast you're going, that, you know, a 50-kilometer launch there, that will easily make it. Obviously it should be quite easy for him to defend, but if he doesn't notch properly, doesn't go cold, you know, that AMRAM is absolutely going to catch and kill him. I'll actually cut ahead slightly to when the missile hits, because obviously a launch from that range, it takes quite a lot of time for it to get there, and I don't want to just, you know, show too many clips of me just flying in a straight line waiting for a missile to hit, because it's not very exciting. But that is a lot of what flying this plane is going to be, much like the F-15. I'm going to move in now, using my TWS, manual radar controls, as I have been doing recently, pick up some more people that look like they've just taken off, so I'm going to fly over to him. Again, cut ahead to the launch. I did it as I was climbing, getting super high. He's quite low down, so I'm going to get this as top down as possible, make it really hard to multipath. You might have noticed my TWS fell off briefly there, despite still being in the gimbal limit, so again, you know, work in progress. I imagine that sort of thing is not going to be happening in live, we'll see. But anyway, you know, the missile's guiding itself in anyway, and it collects the kill. More of the same, just moved on to the next target, flying stupid fast, super high, fire the AMRAM. You know, it's got so much range at this speed, at this altitude, so I'll fire that one off. Jumping now a little bit later in that match, I was defending some RWR warnings coming from towards where their team was. I'm going a bit cold because I'm trying to establish where this person is that's shooting at me. I see the black dot of his airframe under the clouds, so I pop my air brake to get round a bit faster, cut my throttle just to rotate the plane and get round into this joust. Get the HMD lock, get the launch off, straight back into the notch. And as soon as I see the missiles going for my chaff, I'm going to recommit, try and make sure I keep the dominant position here. Get my second launch off while he's still turning in, so I've got a dominant position here. I've got him on the defensive now, so I'll hold the lock all the way in. He fails to notch it and I collect the kill. Last kill for this game as I was flying out of that duel. I'm just sort of looking up, climbing a bit again, picking up my speed again, just looking around TWS, see if I pick anyone up, and there we go, I picked someone up there, so he's going to be my next target. I'll pick up some altitude, pick up some speed, wait until he can't really use the canyon anymore to defend and he turns into me and I take the launch. Again, very top down, he needs to notch that. He's not going to be able to multi-path it. Even if he does notch it, I'll probably get data link considering we're in that top down aspect that we like, and that's the last kill of the game. Again, next game, super high, super fast. I'm going to fire some really long range AMRAAMs. You know, worst case scenario, they're going to be pressured to defend. You know, if you have more of these high altitude, really fast planes on your team, you can really just dictate how the match is going to play out. You know, people either have to respect your launches or they're going to die. And if they respect them, obviously they have to defend and your team can take up sort of dominant positions and just sort of dictate how the match is going to go. As I'm just watching those people in the middle, I get the RWR warning. I see there's another player down there who's fired on someone. Gonna get the off-ball launch, going to the notch to prepare. He's way too committed though, and he just eats that. As I'm reassessing to see what's going on, I realise there's an RWR warning behind me, and it looks like there's someone that's fired at me, so I'm pulling into the missile because it's chasing me, dumping chaff, just trying to notch that. And I see the Rafale. I'm trying to pull in for a launch here, but obviously I've lost control. One of the issues is slowing this thing down. I do manage to get the launch off, but see, there's the issue with the AMRAAM. It's too close range, going too fast for it to pull in. If I had a Mika or maybe even a PL-12 or something there, I might actually be able to get a more, you know, high probability of kill shot to force him to defend. He didn't really have to defend there. He could just comfortably come into that merge because he knew the AMRAAM wouldn't pull in. So at the moment, he's beating me on the first turn, so I'm just going to dodge his guns. My plan here is to just sort of outrate him. I think the Eurofighter does perform better here, but obviously he started on my tail, so it's going to take me some time to work on this position. So I'm neg-G'ing a bit, I'm just making sure I keep my speed up, and just as I think I'm starting to gain some angle, someone else takes him out anyway. Now I'll cut out to where I'm picking up my altitude, picking up my speed again, because I see someone coming in and I want that top-down position always. You know, I want to put that serious pressure on. I take the launch, and you're going to see now the issue that you have if you defend the launch rather than just fly into it. It's like, sure, you might survive the AMRAAM, but because he's gone defensive and he hasn't fired back at me, I've just got a completely dominant position over him. Going to switch to HMD, and I briefly try and lock him up, but I'm not getting the lock, and I see the missiles hit the ground, so I know he's multipathing, I know he's probably notching, so I'm going to go for the 9M. I'm not giving him RWR pings anymore, so even if he does spot that, it's going to be a lot of work to flare that with the speed at which I launched it, and I get another kill. As I get the kill, I obviously get the launch warning from what looks like a Mirage, so I'm going to get the launch off on him and then go into the notch. Cut ahead to when the missile connects, and then I'm just flying towards their airfields and trying to look for anyone else, maybe late taking off. Got no AMRAAMs now, so I'm going to stick low, see if I can get into a dogfight with someone maybe. My aircraft gives me the check fuel warning, and I notice I've got pretty low fuel, so I'm just sort of checking the map in a second, just assessing my options. So I decide I'm going to turn around, I'm going to land, and then I see that missile in the air, and I see the enemy pop up, so there's another Eurofighter there. I want to try and get to the merge here. My friendly's just died, so I'm going to use this little valley here, just so I can push into this a bit more safely. Go for the head-on 9M, make sure I pull up into the merge, dodge his guns. And I'm quite low fuel now. You see how handily I pull into him in that first circle. So now I'm just trying to line up the shot. I'm trying to get the radar lock for a radar gun sight, because I'm not very good with guns, but I can't get it. Managed to get the crit though. Firmly planted on his tail. Just a matter of patience now, but he decides he's had enough. And that's all I wanted to show today. I've just got this last little clip, which I'll just use as a little outro here. Given the dev server's only open for a short amount of time, obviously there's only so much gameplay footage I can collect, so you know, it might not be the same sort of interesting scenarios as I use in my other videos, because I just don't have the time to just sort of collect that level of footage. But I thought I had a few, you know, fun clips just to showcase how it is in the dev server a bit at the moment, so I thought I'd just make a short video in case anyone's interested. Obviously, when it comes to live, I'll do a full video. As for the Rafale, I might do a dev server video. It's still open for a few more days, so we'll see. I might do, I might not, but obviously, again, when that comes to live, I'll also be doing a full video on that. Regardless, hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you again.